When I was 15 or 16 years old, I had to go to summer school because of, well, you guys know why I had to go to summer school. Obviously, I wasn't doing what I needed to do. So, my mother sent me to my best friend, and all of my friends who had to go to summer school with me were going to a school on the east side. So my mother decided to send me to a school on the west side because she didn't want me getting into any trouble with my friends or anything of that nature. She wanted me, since I had been getting in trouble with my friends in school, she wanted me to go to a school on the west side where I would study and pass. So I had to wake up every morning super early to catch the bus across town to the west side. So once I got to the west side and I got to the school, I was by myself. I didn't know anyone. It was just, I was uncomfortable. Like, I really didn't know anyone. I was there alone. And so I eventually got my classes, and I got to one class and I met a girl, and I'll say her name was Adriana. So me and Adriana, I had to sit next to Adriana. So Adriana and I became really cool. Like, she was a Latino girl. It was my first time being around, their culture or Latinos, and it was just, she was super cool. So we just bonded, we connected, went on, we became close. So one day Adriana came to school and she was out of it. She was crying. She was just out of it. And I asked her, like, what's wrong? What's wrong? So she tells me her boyfriend Justin, we'll call him Justin. She tells me her boyfriend Justin killed himself. So I was so blown, and I couldn't believe it because she had just told me, like, they were fine, everything was good, and she told me he killed himself. So she told me she was over his house that night. She went over his house that night, and I'm getting emotional talking about it because I could feel her pain. I can't even imagine, So she told me she was over his house. They were fine. They were happy, and he was fine. She was there and everything was fine, and then she left. And that night he killed himself. He shot himself. So at that moment, I didn't know what to do, what to say, because in that moment, everyone knows it's nothing you really can do or say to make someone feel better when someone they love has been taken away from them. So I was just doing my best to be there for her, telling her in time things will get better. I'm sorry, I'm here for you, whatever you need. Just doing anything I can to make her, understand that I'm here for her. So she was crying. She was just, how anyone would be if they lost a loved one. And she began to tell me that she didn't care to live anymore. He was all she had. He was her everything, and she didn't have a reason to live anymore. And she told me she wanted to die, and I just was telling her, like, everything will be okay. No, don't say that. It would go better. I was blown at the time. I'm only 15, 16. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say, but I was afraid. So that night, on my way home, as I was catching a bus home, my mother was a police officer at the time, and I called my mother because I was so hurt. I was hurt for her. I was hurt for her. So I called my mother, and I told my mother that Adriana boyfriend Justin killed himself. And it was so crazy because my mother had gotten a call. As a police officer, she had gotten a call for a homicide or a case dealing with a murder or something of that nature. And my mother had, while investigating this other homicide, she was at the morgue or doing something of that nature, and she turns around and there Justin was. And it was so crazy because the call had came in at the same time, I guess, and she was there, and they were bringing Justin in, and my mother couldn't believe it. And I was just like, I was blown. My mother was blown. We were just like at a loss for words. The simple fact that I feel like God places us in a certain place at a certain time. So it was just weird. So the next day when I got to school, Adriana wasn't there. And I was terrified out my mind. I was so scared. I didn't know what to do. I was panicking because she's not here now. Like, she just told me she wanted to kill herself. So I'm panicking. So I call her mother and I tell her mother, I know she gave me her house phone number. So I called and her mother answered the phone, and I told her mother, like, hi, I'm Zari. I go to school, summer school with Adriana. She told me that she wanted to kill herself. She didn't want to live anymore because of Justin, and she was, I'm afraid. I want to know if she's okay. I just thought I'd let you know just so you can, you know, I just wanted to let her know. I was just so afraid that I wanted to let her mother know that she was talking about killing herself because of Robbie, and which I can understand if you lose the one person close to you in this world, and I can understand. So I told her mom, and her mom was shocked, and her mother's like, okay, oh my God, I'm gonna get her some help. Thank you so much for telling me. We're really gonna watch over her. We're gonna keep her here. We're gonna get her some help. And her mother was grateful that I told her about the situation. And I was worried that I was crossing or overstepping a boundary by calling her mom and telling her mom that, but I knew it was for the good. I knew it was for the best for her, and I didn't want her to hurt herself. So after that, she never came back. I never saw her again. She never returned to summer school, and I was worried because I didn't know what happened, or you know what happened. So later on during the summer, I decided to call the phone number. So when I called, I asked, like, hello, may I speak to Adriana? And surprisingly, it was Adriana. And I told her, like, hi Adriana, I'm Zari. We went to summer school together. We were really cool in summer school, and I just wanted to call to check up on you. I wanted to make sure you were okay. And she was surprised, and as well she was grateful. She's like, oh my God, thank you so much for what you did for me. I really didn't want to live. I felt like I had nothing. I felt depressed. I felt scared. I felt lonely. And she felt like she had no one. So she just thanked me, and she was just happy that I did care enough to call her mother, that I didn't take it as a joke, that I did reach out for her, and that I cared enough, because we didn't know each other. I just had met her, and we only known each other for a couple of weeks, and I reached out to her. So she was grateful. And after that, I never spoke to her again. She did give me a picture. I ended up getting a picture from her during school of her and her Adriana and Justin. She gave me a picture of them, and I still have that picture to this day. I'm going to always keep it with me, because that's a memory in a situation that I believe God placed me in to help. Because how, out of everything that led up to that moment, my mother decided not to send me to the school on the east side, but sent me to the school on the west side. Us becoming close, us becoming friends, the situation that happened, and my mother getting the call, and then she's seeing Justin being brought in. Like, I believe God places us in a situation to better. Every moment matters. God is truly working, and it's just every moment matters. And that's my story time on how I stopped a double suicide, a possible double suicide. And I will never forget this story. I will cherish that picture. I will keep that picture. I have it in my photo album, and I will always remember that, because I've never experienced anything like that. And if you are dealing with the depression, or you are having suicidal thoughts, please watch this video, and please learn that you are loved. If you feel alone, you are not alone. Please, I'm going to list a hot number or hotline number below or somewhere on this video. If you are having or if you are going through depression or having suicidal thoughts, please call the number that I'm going to look up to get to you guys. Don't do it, because you are loved and you are worth something in this world. You are beautiful. You are amazing. Don't hurt yourself. But that's a really sensitive topic I decided I wanted to share with you guys, because it really impacted my life. Like, I will never forget that. It was something that I will always remember. I will keep that photo and cherish it, because that was a moment God placed me in someone's life to help them. I believe that. So that's my story time, guys. And if you are going through depression, or if you are having suicidal thoughts, please know that you are loved. You are worthy of love. You are wonderful. You are an amazing person. And please don't hurt yourself. And please call the number that I will be listing or linking to this video.